Hi all my crafty friends, and welcome back to Designs by Gaddis. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found my channel. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. By doing so, you will help others, just like yourself, be able to find my home decor DIY videos. I decided I needed a new spring garland for my tier tray. I originally thought about using 3 different size beads, but decided to use 14mm and 16mm beads only. Instead of painting the 14mm beads, I thought I would try a paint water mix. To make the stain, I used water and 5 different spring colors: yellow, purple, pink, green, and blue. I thought these colors would look amazing and spring-like strung together. I poured water into 5 plastic cups and then added the different paint colors to the water and stirred them well. I used a piece of twine and placed 5 of the 14mm beads on it. I then submerged the beads into the paint and water mixture. I left the beads soaking in the mixture overnight. The next morning, this is what the cups looked like. As you can see, the paint is on the top and the water settled in the bottom. I pulled all the beads out and placed them on a box. I used my hot air gun to dry the beads. Since the colors were a little lighter than I wanted after dyeing, I mixed more paint with the water in the cups and placed the beads back in the mixture for a couple more hours. I then dried the beads again with my hot air gun to make sure I liked the colors, and the colors were perfect. After drying all the beads, it was time to start stringing them. I removed the beads from the twine and placed them on a paper towel in separate stacks. I wanted the beads to have an aged, worn look to them. So, to achieve this, I used a very fine grit sandpaper and lightly sanded each of the beads. I used a piece of painter's tape and secured it to the end of the twine I'm using for the garland. I did this so it would be easier to slip the beads onto the twine. I placed 1 bead of each color onto the twine, and then I strung a 16mm natural color bead before starting the next set of beads. I continue adding the beads in this manner until I'd used all the colored beads. I tied both the ends and took the beads outside. Since the paint and water mixture made the beads very dull, I decided to spray them with a gloss protectant to give them a little shine. While the beads were outside drying, I decided to make a tag and a tassel for the garland. I used this little mason jar shaped tag and painted it with Waverly plaster chalk paint. And it did take 2 coats of paint to get the even coverage. Once the front of the tag was dried, I turned the tag over and did the same thing on the back and the sides. For the tassel, I used some of this purple ribbon I had in my stash and some of the twine I had strung the beads on. I wrapped the ribbon and twine around my hand about 10 times. I left the ribbon and twine wrapped around my hand and placed another piece of twine around the top center of the tassel. I tied the twine around the top of the tassel, wrapped it around the tassel again, and then tied a knot to hold the tassel together. I cut the bottom of the tassel. For the top of the tassel, I used twine and wrapped it around the top until I was happy with the way it looked, and then used hot glue to hold it in place. I untwisted most of the twine to give the tassel a poofy look. Is poofy a real word? I don't know, but you see what I did. I then took the twine from the garland and the twine from the tassel, tied them together, and added hot glue to hold it. I used 2 buttons and painted them with gray chalk paint. Once the buttons were dry, I created a little bunny by gluing them onto the tag. I then glued a Dollar Tree pom-pom on the bottom button to give the bunny a tail. The pom-pom was a little too fluffy for me, so I used my scissors and trimmed it down. For the bunny ears, I used a pipe cleaner. Cut it down to size, shaped it into a bunny ear shape, and glued it to the tag. And just look at how cute this bunny turned out. I used a piece of the same ribbon I had used on the tassel around the neck of the bunny and glued it into place. To attach the tag to the garland, I pulled the twine from the garland through the hole of the tag, tied a knot, and glued it. I thought the bunny was a little light on this white tag, so I used some antiquing wax and the dry brush method to darken it up a little and give it more of a rustic farmhouse look. And just look at how adorable this Easter bead garland turned out. I just love it. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I upload weekly home decor DIY videos, and you know you don't want to miss any of them. So go ahead and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting!